Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video on the West Ham Way YouTube channel. Good news coming out of the West Ham camp. Jarrod Bowen is set to sign a long-term contract with the club. It's been reported at numerous places that the negotiations with Jarrod Bowen hadn't gone very well. There was an issue which I think was halting the contract negotiations, and I think both sides have been at a standoff for quite a while. There's also rumours going around about a release clause. About Jarrod Bowen maybe wanting to go to another project. There was also rumours about Liverpool and Newcastle being interested in the player, but we could put all those rumours to bed. Fabrizio Romano, here we go. He has reported that Jarrod Bowen is set to sign the new long-term project. He wants to be part of the West Ham long-term project. I'll actually read out the tweet. It said Jarrod Bowen agrees to the new long-term deal at West Ham. It's all done. One more excellent news for the West Ham United winger after England national team call-up. Bowen wanted to stay as key part of the project, and Jarrod said yes to the final proposal. So, we're getting Fabrizio reporting on it, but of course, more important, what X has said. And what X has said is that there is no release clause in Jarrod Bowen's contract. Of course, we heard maybe rumours that there was going to be a release clause included in the contract, and it seems there hopefully won't be. Of course, nothing's necessarily confirmed as of yet, but we take what X says as gospel. I personally do, and he said there is no release clause in Bowen's deal. We've just received confirmation that due to significant increases in wages, there is in fact no release clause set to be included in Bowen's new deal. We believe the new deal will make him the highest earner at the club, and therefore these increased wage offering meant that the club would agree a deal without the clause. The deal was also expected to be a long-term deal, giving the club complete control over the player's future. So, okay. Anyway, I'm not going to read that last bit because I don't want to get myself into any trouble. But yes, essentially, West Ham have secured Jarrod Bowen on a long-term deal. This is brilliant news. Brilliant news. I mean, I was kind of worried that Jarrod Bowen was going in the direction of Declan Rice, or maybe the direction I think Lucas Paqueta is going to be going at some stage. Obviously, because he actually does have a release clause of, I think, around £85 million that gets activated next summer. And I think probably he will leave when that happens because City are interested. So, I can't see that not happening at this stage. And of course, I think Newcastle, if they've got big bucks, could they afford £85 million potentially? So I think maybe we might see Lucas Paqueta depart the club soon if we can't get a new contract negotiated with him. Obviously, Declan Rice, we did a similar situation with Bowen. We chucked loads of money at him. We gave him everything that we thought he would want. And unfortunately, he just wanted a different project. He didn't buy into the West Ham project. But we now have a player who has bought into the West Ham project through every single level of it. He said earlier this season that he's become a fan. He's now a fan of West Ham United. He's one of us. Obviously, he's got ties to Danny Dyer's. Obviously, one being his, I think, girlfriend. I think they're married yet, but girlfriend, who's obviously he's got a child with, twins. Also, her dad, Danny Dyer, who is a well-known West Ham fan and an East London. So he's got a lot of ties with West Ham United, and I think that he's really bought into the project. He's really, you can tell every time he comes onto the pitch, and this isn't a criticism of Declan Rice, because I think he did the same. But whenever he comes on the pitch, you can tell he just loves the club. He loves playing for the club, the passion he shows for the club. Every time he scores a goal, every time he gets an assist, every time we, get a last-minute winner, every time we get 3 points, you can tell it means so much to him. And he's bought into, like I say, every bit of the club, the culture of the club, what the club means to the fans, the very meaning of the West Ham way. I think he's bought into the club incredibly well. And realistically, he's probably our best player. I mean, on form, he's definitely our best player. I mean, there's no question. He's scored 5 goals, got 1 assist in the league already, which obviously makes him the worst right winger in the league, obviously. He's playing really, really good football. Obviously, he's just got called up for the national team as well, the England national team, which I think is really positive. I know he could be an injury risk, and there is kind of the argument that, well, why would you want your player in good form to play more minutes? But I think from a confidence standpoint, getting rejected from the England squad, I mean, if Bowen wants to play for the England squad, then getting called up for the England squad can only do wonders for his confidence. He could. It's a risk reward scenario. He could come back and have a broken leg, or he can come back high on confidence from being in the England squad and getting other players around him. I mean, a lot of people criticised Declan Rice because when he was at the England squad, it seemed like he was talking to all these players that kind of, we sort of saw it as him getting swayed by these players, like him talking to Bukayo Saka and Mason Mount and them all in his ear, like all join Chelsea, all join Arsenal, all join a bigger club. Of course, we'll never know how much of an impact that really has on a player. But I don't see a similar situation happening with Jared. Of course, one thing we all need to remember is that no matter what has happened, it's been reported by Fabrizio Romano, it's been reported by X, two incredibly top tier sources, probably the two best sources you can get for any type of information regarding West Ham. But nothing's been confirmed by the club as of yet. So as much as this is probably like a 99.9% done, dusted, 100% situation, we have to remember that the club hasn't actually announced it yet. Whether they announce it at the game today or, how long, it's a long-term contract, so I'm not entirely sure. I think if it's a long-term contract, it will probably be till 2028. It'll be like a 5-year contract. That's what I would assume. If not, maybe a 4-year contract. I don't really think I could see 3 years as long-term, considering he's already on, I think, just under 2-year contract. But it's a good scenario for us. It really is, because we were caught in the crossroads of, should we sell him? Cash in on him? Should we, try and accept the release clause? Of course, like I said, there was a release clause that was going around, and to be honest, I could see that being the case. I wouldn't be surprised if Jared Bowen did want to potentially like put something in there that says, oh, maybe I want to play for a different club at some stage. But of course, like we said, there is no release clause. That is what X has reported, and of course, we take that as gospel. So I think that's incredibly positive. We're not going to be stuck in a situation now where we think, do we want to get more time with Jared Bowen, or do we want to cash in on him now? Or, we don't have to think about any of these things. The only thing we have to think about is that Jared Bowen is going to be a West Ham player, hopefully, until he retires.